Reddit Ask Me Anything platform, or AMA for short, is a great way for celebrities and other people of notoriety to answer questions directly from their fans. But the downside to this subreddit is that things can quickly take a turn for the worst. So that's why I'm here today to count down my picks for the top 5 Reddit AMA disasters. With Google being the biggest website on the entire internet, it's no surprise that many of the people that work with the tech giant would be perfect candidates to have their own AMA, where people can ask them specifics about their job and how such a large company operates. Because of this, Google's site reliability engineering team decided to answer some questions about how they strive to keep the search engine and the variety of other websites owned by Google running smoothly. While this seemed like an average, non-controversial way to spread awareness of their job, it just so happened that Gmail and many of Google's other services went down right when the AMA started up, giving an opportunity for many to complain directly to Google staff. On the bright side, the engineers stayed calm and didn't make fools of themselves, but instead actually gave very technical responses to what was going on with Gmail and the inner workings of their job. One of the more unique individuals to do an AMA was a former Reddit employee that wanted to answer any questions people may have had about his time working for the website. This of course led to people asking why he was let go from the company, and while he was never given a specific reason, he thought it was because he proposed to donate 10% of the company's revenue to charity. But after his comment, the actual CEO of Reddit entered the discussion to say, "You were fired for the following reasons. 1. Incompetence and not getting much work done. 2. Inappropriate or irrelevant comments/questions when interviewing candidates. 3. Making incorrect comments in public about Reddit systems that you had very little knowledge of, even after having these errors pointed out by your peers and manager. 4. Not taking feedback from your manager and other engineers about any of these when given to you." This just goes to show that if you want to badmouth your previous employer, it may not be the best idea to do it on his very own website. The Moth and the Flame is an American alternative rock band formed in 2011. While they are for the most part an unheard of name, a while back they had posted on Reddit their story about how one of their songs went viral on Facebook, with them receiving no credit for the work that was stolen and posted on the social networking site. After an overwhelming amount of support, they decided to do an Ask Me Anything to take advantage of their newly acquired Reddit fame, but this is where things started to take a turn for the worst. Many Redditors start to accuse the band of making up their entire story of having a song stolen for some easy publicity. To make things worse, Reddit accounts showed up to the thread that were just created and only seemed to be there to try to make the Moth and the Flame look good, while disagreeing with any criticism the band was receiving. All this led to the AMA community turning on them, with some threatening to steal their music and post it without their permission to teach them a lesson. After this, the band stopped answering questions, with there never being closure on if this was all just a publicity stunt. Jesse Jackson is a controversial figure in American politics, to say the least. For decades, the minister has been one of the most outspoken civil rights activists in the country, with his work going back to the 1960s with Martin Luther King. Along with this, though, many of his actions have led some to become critical of his actual motives. So in July of 2015, when the Reverend came to Reddit, many were ready to speak their mind, including one top question with over 3,000 upvotes that said, "Mr. Jackson, you are an immoral, hate-filled race baiter that has figured out how to manipulate the political system for your own gain. You've personally set back race relations year after year, and continue to do more harm than good. Extorting money from companies to line your pockets, and threatening to bust in protesters and create fake racial controversy if they don't agree to pay you off is not civil rights activism. My question is simple. How is your relationship with the illegitimate child you fathered in 1998 while cheating on your wife? Bonus question, how much money have you extorted from various people and companies over the years of practicing your shakedown scheme? Do you think Al Capone would be jealous of your business model if he were still alive?" As you could tell, it didn't go over very well, with only a few lighthearted questions scattered about, such as one who asked what ratio of peanut butter and jelly he liked on his sandwich. Mr. Jackson responded, "I would rather have peanut butter and jam separately. I like both of them, but not necessarily together," leading to the response, "So separate but equal." This Ask Me Anything went so poorly that some have theorized it led to the firing of Reddit employee Victoria Taylor, who was in charge of the AMA. If you have only heard of one Reddit AMA going wrong, it was probably this one, because Woody Harrelson's question and answer session is the textbook definition of how not to do one. In 2012, the Cheers star took to Reddit wanting to promote his new movie Rampart, but when users started to ask questions unrelated to the film, he made the mistake of asking people to only ask about his new movie, even though he was doing an Ask Me Anything. After spending a few minutes on the thread answering only a small handful of questions, it was over, leading to most of Reddit's user base to make fun of the actor for the next 48 hours, and to this very day it's considered the biggest AMA disaster in the site's history. Whether it was actually Mr. Harrelson or just someone answering on his behalf, the entire ordeal was a huge mess. Well, there you have my picks for my top 5 Reddit AMA disasters. And if you enjoyed this video, you could click here to subscribe or click here to follow me on Twitter. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.